whenever I'm in Durban, my skin is like smooth. You know, my hair, something about it, and it's humid, you know, and the smell of the sea breeze, you know, it's just an amazing place. I love it.
Oh, the beach was amazing. It was all like paradise for me. I mean, I'm from Joburg after all.
I grew up in Durban, so it was good to be back. And I love photography, and I love taking photos and filming. And Gugu and I, we would wake up 5 a.m. We were waking up at sunrise every day that we were in Durban, ready to get the best shot of the sea, of the beach. And Nomsa and Spoo, they preferred to relax and sleep before we did our trainings. It was probably clever because those trainings were long. By the end of the day we were tired, so Gugu and I, we were just adding more exercise to our lives.
In Durban, we met Transhope, a trans-led organization.
So I think something that I did not expect on this trip was the level of transgender and intersex 101 training that a lot of the groups that we spoke to need. Being community-based organizations in a country like South Africa, where most of the discourse around human rights and about gender identity is in English, which is not the first language of the majority of the people in this country, where most of the resources are online, when a lot of people just don't have data to use for stuff like that on their cell phones. I was telling Spoo, oh, we can do like a quick half-hour Trans 101 just in case. My biggest takeaway was realizing that actually for these trainings, we needed to make sure that the groundwork was there.
I mean, my role in the training is just to demystify or to just create clarity, because people have heard of trans, people have heard of this, but sometimes people, you know, still confuse these things. So my role is just to bring it down and, you know, make relevant examples, just to make it easy and light for people to comprehend the concepts that we are talking about, concepts like gender expression, gender identity, you know, concepts like misgendering and all those things.
I'm confident that by the end of this trip, we had really expanded, I think, a lot of the ideas that the CBOs had about trans and intersex people.
For me, the biggest challenges were the issues of network. That's the first thing. I remember when we were in KZN, we did buy people data and everything. And as an organization, we really tried to come back and make amendments which can accommodate, you know, different things. That's why we have a link now where people can just go to the link and be able to get the app and be able to share the information wherever they are.
Through Transhope, we met other LGBTI persons who are doing work within their community.
We were told about a shelter that is there in uMlazi, and we had an interest. But we didn't really know what is happening with this shelter. So when we got to uMlazi and were taken to Joe's place, we realized that Joe is an amazing person, an amazing trans man that, you know, went all out to opening his space for other LGBTI people who are violated also, either from their families. Some of them, they had challenges because they couldn't finish their school. One of the things that was so impressive for me is that Joe, from the little that he has, he made sure that everyone has a meal on a daily basis. And it's not all of us that can say that.
You know, they say, there's nothing greater than somebody who's suffering themselves, but they take their little to help the next person. So when I met Joe, I was completely humbled, and I asked myself, with what I have, which is more than what Joe has, how many people will I be able to help?
I think what really hit me was just that assumption of what we thought we would see when we heard that there was a shelter. I grew up in Durban, and I'd never set foot in uMlazi before. You know, white middle-class family, you hear stories about the crime and everything. And so seeing it for myself and seeing what counts as a shelter there made me realize, I suppose, not only my own privilege, but the value of the work that we do. There are people all around the country facing something just like what Joe and his kids are facing, and he manages to give everything he has. And it is up to us, I think, who have the power to bring about real change in this country, to do everything we can for Joe.
So for me, the most memorable footage or shots that I took was when we were in uMlazi with Joe, and I remember I took pictures of the kids that Joe accommodates, So I remember I took some of the individual pictures of Joe, but I also took group pictures also, so like portraits. That was like, for me, those were one of the most beautiful images.
From Transhope, we went to East London.
The road to East London from Durban, it's not a fun road. It's a busy road. There's not a lot of lanes, but there are a lot of potholes. But I've driven it a lot before, and I was warning Nomsa that it's a rough road. And Nomsa's a great driver. Nomsa drives us everywhere at Iranti. She's our go-to chauffeur.
For me, it was so scary, to a point where I couldn't drive, and I asked Kaylin to drive because I was very scared.
I'm in the driver's seat now. Nomsa,
Yeah, bro.
tell the camera why I'm driving.
Yeah, because this place is scary, and like I feel that I won't survive to get down there.
On these roads.
Yeah, on these roads, and the things I saw a ghost. I can't. So it's best if someone that knows the road drives.
But also, because Kaylin's driving is a bit faster and everything, I was more than scared when Kaylin was driving. So we would always, have some, talks in the car. Kaylin, don't drive fast. And Kaylin would say, no, don't worry, you're protected and everything. But it was really scary.
I wasn't going to kill anyone. I drive very responsibly. No, I don't drive too fast. No, I was driving very responsibly. Next question.